we're not far away from All-Star Weekend, about a month out. So I wanted to get from you guys who you think deserve to be in the All-Star game this year. We're going to start off by breaking down starting five from the East and a starting five from the West, two guards and three forwards, as I guess they call it now, since they took centers out of the All-Star game a bunch of years ago. I want to know who would be on your selections based on their performances this season to be the All-Star stars, or not stars because it's not East versus West anymore. It's a weird format with four teams doing some sort of competition. But I digress. Scotty P, let's start in the Eastern Conference. I
Okay.
think when you look at the Eastern Conference, I think Donovan Mitchell has to be a lock at that guard position. I don't think anyone can make a
Okay.
case that Donovan Mitchell shouldn't be a lock at that guard position. But who's the other guard that you would put alongside him?
I definitely agree with you on Donovan Mitchell. First place team, they're playing terrific basketball. He's their leading scorer. He's been the leader of that team as well. So I think you have to submit him in there as a starter at that guard position. Um, I'm gonna who currently right now, Mo, is the other vote getter behind him.
I thought LaMelo was leading. Wasn't LaMelo
Yeah,
leading it?
Lamelo's leading.
In the
Yeah,
latest
yeah. No,
returns,
wait.
LaMelo
Yeah,
Ball leads all
no. Yeah.
Eastern
Okay.
Conference guards with
No.
almost
No.
2 million votes.
I,
If you want
I,
the numbers from the fans, LaMelo Ball is at one, Donovan Mitchell's at two, Dame Lillard's at three, Jalen Brunson at four, Trae Young at five.
okay. I'm gonna surprise you who I would pick. Forget what the fans are
I
pick,
think
but
it's gonna
just
be the
based on
same
performance,
person I'm gonna pick.
performance, and I'm gonna say Cade Cunningham.
Yep. Speak on it, Scott. Speak on it.
Cade Cunningham, what the Pistons are doing to this point, a couple games above 500, they're in the playoff mix. His growth this year as a player at both ends on the floor, and I really like what I see from him passing the ball. Still a little bit high on the turnover side of things, but I never questioned this young man's confidence. Extremely confident player. His shooting of the basketball continues to improve, uh, and he's starting to exhibit some better leadership qualities for this basketball team. So I got to give a shout out to Cade Cunningham right now as being the other guard. Now I don't know that he's going to get selected to it, but just based on performance and the
Mm-hmm.
guys I've watched this year, it's going to be Cade Cunningham for me.
BJ, the rest of the voting is Tyrese Maxey at six, Kate Cunningham at seven, Darius Garland at eight, Jordan Poole at nine, and Tyler Herro at 10. But which two guards would you have starting for the Eastern Conference in the All-Star game?
Well, I have to agree with both of you gentlemen here because when you look at the game and the performance, which is the overriding factor here, Cade Cunningham is very deserving when you look at this list. What they've done, their team has significantly improved. Scott made an excellent point. His leadership and what he's doing consistently night in and night out as their best player for the Detroit Pistons. So I think Cade Cunningham, when you look at this list and you look at the players at the guard position, Donovan Mitchell and Cade Cunningham are very deserving to be there at All-Star Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And think about this too. When we talk about both of those teams, we thought Cleveland was going to be good. We didn't know they were going to be this good. Now we know that Evan Mobley has improved greatly, and that's a big part of this too on the Cleveland side of things. But the Detroit Pistons were the worst basketball team in the league last year in
In the
terms of record.
universe.
Exactly. And now to be talking about them in terms of playoff possibilities and things of that nature and having a winning record at this stage, no one in the basketball universe had predicted this or saw this. So that's another reason to me. We talk about it all the time. BJ says it all the time. You hear me say it, Mo. Players that impact winning. Winning is what really matters. And so to me, these two individuals have embodied that this year with both their respective ball clubs.
And I do want to clarify for the fans who might be a little angry hearing this, is we're just talking about the two stars. We're not talking about like Jalen Brunson should be an all-star. Dame Lillard may well be an all-star. Like we're just talking about the two spots in the starting lineup. We'll talk about the the rest of the spots later on. But in the Eastern Conference, the front court, you're gonna have Giannis there. You got to have
Yes.
Jason Tatum there. That
Yes.
third spot, is that Karl-Anthony Towns? Is that Paolo Banchero? Is that Jaylen Brown, Evan Mobley? Who are you guys looking at for the front court? What are the three players that you're picking?
Got to go with Karl Anthony Towns. Got to give him his due. He's come there after the trade, posted extreme numbers there, playing extremely well for the Knicks. One of the main reasons they're sitting in the third seed right now. So for me, Karl Anthony Towns would be the center alongside the two forwards you just mentioned, and Giannis and Jason Tatum.
BJ, who's the three that you would pick?
Karl-Anthony Towns for sure. But just a little below that is Evan Mobley. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Paulo hasn't played.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo hasn't played
Has
enough.
played
games.
enough.
He
Exactly.
hasn't played enough games. But Evan Mobley he's on the heels right after Karl-Anthony Towns because of their
He should have
record.
a berth. Yeah, and he should definitely get a all-star berth for sure.
Yes. So, but I think Karl-Anthony Towns, what he's done, he's made the transition. He's put up, big numbers there in New York. But Evan Mobley is right there, right on his heels. Okay, of being immediately after the starters. But I agree with that. I agree with Giannis and Jason Tatum.
So far we're kind of solidified with Donovan Mitchell, Kate Cunningham, Giannis, Tatum, and Cap, right? As a starting five for the Eastern Conference. And then it's a 12-man squad. So we'll do the same exercise for the bench and then have two kind of wild card players who also deserve to make it. So which two guards would you then have on your bench?
Well, Jalen Brunson has to be one for me. Jalen Brunson. Are we considering Jaylen Brown a guard, or are we going to consider him a forward?
I think at the moment, in terms of voting, he's
yeah,
technically
he's
down
gotta be a
as a forward.
Forward.
he has
Okay,
to be,
small
because
forward.
you have,
Okay.
Drew Holiday and Derek White at the guards.
yep.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then I'm gonna. You see, I'm just letting you into my thought process, but I always thought about playing him at the two guard one day. Jaylen Brown. But anyway,
Don't say
He
that.
should
Don't
be.
say that.
huh? No, but anyway, I would say Jalen Brunson, Dame Lillard.
BJ, the same two names that you would have?
No, I'm going to say Jalen Brunson and Trae Young. I'm going to say Trae Young. Okay.
Valid. And then for the front court, BJ, I know you're going to put Evan Mobley, but the question is, would you also have Jarrett Allen?
It's a possibility. I would have Evan Mobley and Jaylen Brown.
Well, you get three.
for sure.
So
Oh, and then Jared Allen would be. And the only reason I don't have Paulo there is because he hasn't played enough games.
Played enough games. He's been hurt.
Okay, but I would have Jaylen Brown, I would have Evan Mobley, and then Jared Allen.
what about you, Scott? Would that be the same?
Yeah, I have no problem with that list.
Okay. And then we got two more
I think it's
spots.
gonna be a little tougher. Yeah,
We got two more spots on the roster.
For me,
Or one more spot.
We're
If
different.
if we do it as a combined team, then
yeah,
just
right. Yeah,
one more
yeah,
spot.
because
We've got Trey
because
/ Dame.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, Trey would be my, one of those two spots that you just talked about. He would be my add-on there, and boy, after that, it gets tough for me. It gets tough for me. Again, I'm looking for the winning teams. No one on the Pacers. I know Halliburton has been an All-Star before, but I don't believe he's played.
Yeah,
well
Pascal.
enough.
I think Halliburton's had such a disappointing season.
But yeah,
that
yeah.
For me,
So
he's
I
not an
don't-
all-star this season. I
Yeah.
think
Jared, I didn't mention, or we mentioned Jared Allen before. What about Darius Garland?
yep,
That's another
3
guy.
all-stars for the Cavs, 4 all-stars for the Cavs. Then
I mean, the way they play.
what about LaMelo Ball? He's leading the
played
fan
well.
voting.
And
What
I'll
about
give you
LaMelo?
another. Look, he has been injured a lot as well. It's one of the worst teams in the league. I just don't believe in rewarding that. I'll give you another name who's having a career year, because I'm down here, is Tyler Hero.
I think Tyler Hero, especially with all the drama that's going on in Miami, with Jimmy Butler not really being there. I wouldn't be mad if I saw Tyler Hero as an All-Star this season. BJ, what do you think about that?
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. This is tough. I
Yeah,
was just,
yeah.
as I was listening to the names here, I think you have to consider the Cavs, right? Darius Garland, who is, if I remember correctly, he's been an All-Star,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
I
he
think he's
has.
been.
He has. He
Jared
has.
Allen has been an All-Star.
Yes, he has.
Okay. But Tyler Hero is worthy. I mean, when you talk about obstacles and adversity, and they're still hovering around 500 or so, you have to respect that. And he arguably has been their best player, their most consistent player all year.
If you had to pick that final spot between Darius Garland, who's on the number one seed and obviously had a very winning season so far, or Tyler Hero, who's having the best season of his career whilst in a very difficult situation, which player would you give the edge to?
It's almost that's kind of a coin flip for me because you can
Yeah.
make a strong case for both guys, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't be mad with either decision. Now, obviously, the guy you leave out would be disappointed, and rightfully so, and have a strong case to be in it. But because Tyler Hero, like you said, the Miami Heat, some kind of way, still figure out how to be relevant in the conversation. They're sitting in the eighth seed right now. They're in the playoff mix. Wouldn't surprise anybody if they rose up to six or they stayed at eight. But to watch them grind it, night in and night out, and he has been their best, most consistent player this season. But again, I go back to my days in Detroit when we were really good and we were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. We put four All Stars in
Hmm.
that game. We had Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and Chauncey Billups all become All Stars that same year. So I could see the same thing happening this year with the Cavaliers.